In America, owning a luxury car has always been seen as a kind of milestone. For a lot of people, it means you have finally made it. But something interesting happens when you talk to the people who understand cars the best. Many of them will tell you they avoid buying luxury cars once the factory warranty is gone. Look at what usually shows up on the used market after 5 or 7 years. Cars like the BMW 7 Series, the Mercedes-Benz S-Class, and the Audi A8. These were once flagship sedans that sold for $90,000 to $120,000 when they were new. A few years later, the same cars can be found for $25,000 or $35,000. On paper, that sounds like an incredible deal. You are buying a 6-figure luxury machine for the price of a new family sedan. So the obvious question is this: if luxury cars become that cheap, why do so many experienced drivers still avoid them? The answer often comes down to something many owners quietly call the $5,000 module trap. A modern luxury car is no longer just an engine and a transmission working together under a metal body. In many ways, it behaves more like a network of computers that happens to move down the road. Almost every comfort feature inside the cabin is controlled by its own electronic brain. In fact, a modern luxury sedan can contain anywhere from 70 to 100 separate control modules. Each one manages a different system somewhere in the vehicle. One module controls the seat massage motors. Another handles the 360-degree camera system. Others run adaptive suspension, radar cruise control, and driver assistance features. While the car is still under factory warranty, most owners never think about these components. If something fails, the dealership replaces the part, and the manufacturer pays the bill. The problem begins a few years later when the warranty quietly expires. At that point, every electronic failure becomes the owner's responsibility, and replacing a single control module is rarely cheap. In many cases, the total repair bill lands somewhere between $2,000 and $5,000 once the module, diagnostics, and dealer programming are included. That hidden reality is what many experienced owners call the $5,000 module trap. Luxury cars compete with each other through technology, and every new generation adds more electronics to the vehicle. A modern flagship sedan today can contain more than 90 electronic control units and hundreds of sensors spread across the car. These systems manage everything from suspension behavior to blind spot monitoring to automated parking features. 2 decades ago, the picture looked very different. A typical sedan from the early 2000s might have had 15 or 20 control modules in the entire vehicle. Most systems were mechanical, and the electronic layer was relatively simple. From an engineering perspective, adding more components always increases the number of possible failure points. Reliability engineers often describe this as a simple rule. The more individual parts you add to a system, the greater the probability that something will eventually stop working. That is exactly what begins to happen as luxury cars age. A small electronic issue can start to affect several connected systems at once. For example, a simple parking sensor malfunction might trigger warnings in the parking module, the camera system, and even the driver assistance system. The result is that diagnosing the problem becomes more complex, and the repair becomes more expensive. In other words, the real question with aging luxury electronics is not whether something will fail. It is simply when. And once the warranty protection disappears, that growing network of aging electronics becomes the owner's responsibility. Another reason luxury cars become expensive after the warranty ends is the way their software systems are designed. In many modern luxury vehicles, electronic modules cannot simply be installed and used immediately. They must first be digitally paired with the car through manufacturer software. When a technician replaces a module, the new unit often has to be coded to the vehicle's identification number. Without that step, the system may refuse to operate, or the car may display multiple warning messages. This process is usually done through factory diagnostic tools that communicate directly with the manufacturer's servers. Take something like a camera module on a flagship sedan. Even if the physical part is replaced, the system still needs to be programmed so the car recognizes it as the correct component. That programming process can only be completed with dealer-level software. Independent repair shops sometimes have limited access to these systems, but not always the full capabilities. In many cases, the vehicle still has to visit the dealership for final coding and authentication. And that extra step adds cost to what might seem like a simple repair. Programming and software calibration alone can add $300 to $800 to the final bill. Over time, this creates a situation where even routine electronic repairs require dealer involvement. And that is how many owners become locked into the manufacturer's service ecosystem long after the warranty ends.
Your entire system, you're looking at 1,000 plans available. There's too big on my... Okay.
Luxury sedans are also famous for one very visible pattern. They lose value faster than almost any other type of car on the road. Take a flagship luxury sedan as an example. A new Mercedes-Benz S-Class can easily cost around $110,000 when it leaves the dealership. 7 years later, that same car might be selling on the used market for around $30,000. For many buyers, that price drop looks like an incredible opportunity. On paper, it feels like you are buying a six-figure machine for less than the cost of a new economy car. The logic seems simple. If the price fell that much, the ownership must now be affordable too. But this is where many people misunderstand how luxury car economics actually work. The purchase price may fall dramatically, but the maintenance costs rarely follow the same curve. That S-Class may now cost $30,000 to buy, but the parts and service are still priced like a $100,000 vehicle. Even routine work can quickly add up. A full brake service on a luxury sedan can easily land somewhere between $1,500 and $2,500, depending on the parts involved. So the lower purchase price can create an illusion. The car feels cheaper to buy, but it is not necessarily cheaper to own. Luxury cars also tend to include comfort systems that are far more complex than what you find in most ordinary vehicles. These features are designed to create the smooth, quiet experience that luxury brands advertise so heavily. Many flagship sedans include systems like air suspension, adaptive dampers, and soft, close doors that gently pull themselves shut. When everything is new, these systems make the car feel incredibly refined and comfortable on the road. Take the Audi A8 as a good example. Its air suspension can adjust the ride height and constantly smooth out bumps in the pavement. That technology is a big part of why the car feels so effortless to drive. But these systems are also mechanical and electronic at the same time, which means they eventually wear out. After 6 or 8 years, the air suspension struts can start to leak, and the compressor that maintains pressure may begin to weaken. Once that happens, the repair costs can climb quickly. Replacing a single air suspension strut often costs somewhere between $1,200 and $1,800. If multiple components fail at the same time, the total repair can easily pass $4,000. This is the hidden trade-off behind many luxury comfort features. They deliver an amazing experience when the car is new, but they also come with a limited service life as the vehicle ages. When luxury cars are new, they are usually owned by people who never plan to keep them for long. Many first owners lease the car, enjoy it for 3 or 4 years, and return it before major issues ever appear. During that time, the car is still young, the warranty is active, and every system is working exactly as the engineers intended. But the second owner enters the story at a very different moment in the car's life. They usually buy the vehicle when the warranty is close to ending, right when the electronics and luxury systems are beginning to age. The price looks like an incredible deal, sometimes 70% lower than the original sticker. But the risk profile of the car has quietly changed. The first owner enjoyed the best years of the machine. The second owner inherits the most expensive ones. And that simple shift is why many experienced drivers avoid becoming the second owner of an aging luxury car. Owning a luxury car after the warranty ends can look like an incredible deal at first glance. But the reality is more complicated. Electronics multiply. Software locks repairs to the dealer. Depreciation tricks buyers into thinking maintenance will also be cheap. And aging luxury systems begin reaching the end of their lifespan. That is why many experienced drivers quietly avoid these cars after warranty. If you enjoy understanding the hidden economics behind car ownership, subscribe to the channel for more insights like this.